going on, everybody? Figured I'd make a video. Um, I realized that I only went live on YouTube once, maybe twice. Um, but I wanted to make a video um, to pretty much just have a question to answer for now. Um, Clear up a lot of misconceptions. Um, and really just speak on every level, whether we talking international law, whether we talking spirituality or cult, um, history, because there's a lot of misconceptions out there. Um, and I first want to start off reiterating a few points that some of y'all may be already familiar about. But then again, before I go on what I want to say, I do encourage everybody who tunes in to just go in the chat, question and answer, because that's pretty much what this video is for. I don't really have a set topic, although I do have some things I do want to talk about. But primarily, this is for question and answer. So, um, if y'all have any questions about anything, that's what this video is here for. I realized that on Facebook, I don't really do too much of an outreach. Neither on YouTube. Again, this is only like my second time going live on YouTube. So I'm gonna try to outreach to the people a little bit more, um, relate to the people, and just give some basic, clear answers. What we talking about: law, history, spirituality, etc. You know, because it's time. It's time to clear this stuff up. All right. So again, I encourage question and answer, um, or excuse me, questions and comments. Um, but to until there's some more any comments or questions in the chat, I'll start by speaking on uh, who are we, right? Nationality, the spiritual basis of it, and the lawful basis of it, because there's a reason why this landmass is known as the land of milk and honey. A lot of people call this landmass quote unquote ancient Egypt, right? The Egypt before the Egypt, if you want to say. Um, uh, Basically, when we talking about who we are, right? A lot of people want to use maps to try to figure out who we are. In which that, if you want to use maps, there is no map that has uh, been ever since 1492. All the maps have come out after 1492. So how trustworthy is that? Because we know what happened after 1492. So to utilize maps to say this is Cathay, this is America, this is Tamarik, what have you, right? That's very wavering. You'll see a lot of maps that have a lot of tribes on there and stuff like that from different years. Every year it's a different tribe, right? Um, and again, you can't utilize maps as a unwavering source of proof to say this is how we know who we are. Now you can use it to some degree, yes, but then you have to raise the question: what maps are you even talking about? Because not all maps have the same qualifications. It's just like how a lot of Moors you see just putting out a lot of information claiming to have certain qualifications, and in fact they don't. So same thing as far as the maps, right? Every map that you have seen to try to say this is what this landmass is, this came after 1492, right? Quote unquote the fall of Granada. Okay, this is basically if you want to call it a reset point, in which that basically the Moroccan Empire to some degree failed, and now we basically have people claiming the maps to be the unwavering principle of proof. So it's a source of a truth to some degree, but it is not an unwavering proof. What is the unwavering proof? The law. The 164th missing piece of Thoth's eye. Law. What kind of law? International law. Why international law? Some of y'all may be familiar with my video on the metaphysics of international law, in which that's the whole reason why I say international law. International law basically is the mentality, the actual avenues in which that will be ushering in this new age, this Aquarian age in totality, in truth, in harmony. So I definitely encourage y'all to check out my video on the metaphysics of international law to further understand on what I'm saying. But just to speak a little bit on it, international law, just dealing with even the word itself, and even if you want to relate it to Kabbalah, in which I like to do a lot, it relates to integrity, or the Tippereth point, or the integrating point, the heart chakra. Okay, it's even related to the sun in some circumstances. But basically, where we're integrating ages, worlds. Okay, so the Moors are basically here to teach the world again, basically by uplifting fallen humanity by exercising international law, which is all about human rights, specifically with the guided influence of the United Nations, which was made to decolonize, because we know we're colonized people. They've already decolonized 80 different countries. So it only makes sense to follow the instructions, right? So just back to some of the basics. When we look at who we call, quote unquote, the ancient Americans, right? People want to call this the people here on this landmass ancient Americans. Now when we have these certain perceptions of each other, right? These identifications, these are indications of your consciousness perception, the quality of it, the use, the domain, the value. Well, I wouldn't say the value, but basically where your disposition is what I'm getting at here. So when we say, let's just say you might see a Moor who might say, hey, I'm a Moorish American, right? But you call yourself black. You need to stop calling yourself black, because black means dead in law, right? Civiliter mortus. So you have a Moorish American calling someone who identifies themselves as black as dead in law, but little does that Moor know that Moorish American, quote unquote, the Moorish American, little does he know that Moorish American has the same exact status as black in international law. In international law. What does international law say? International law says there's only Moorish subjects and proteges. Those are the only two binding terms in international law for Moors to utilize if they do not have a Moorish state government. So, Moorish American is not found in a treaty. It's not found in international law. It's only found in the United States system, which is the Wizard of Oz. We know why that term Moorish American is being exercised in the United States system opposed to international law, because it is not an actual binding, truthful, de jure identity. So let's start back to the basics, right? Because people got to understand that regardless if you're on the side of the colonizers or the Moroccans or what have you, if you can, they say you're only as old as your ability to process new information or truth, new information and truth. So for those who can process this information, it is you who have the ability to, whether you on this side or that side, still have the ability to make something right by stepping in your proper position. And you'll understand here shortly what I mean by that. Because both the Moroccans and Americans, there's nobody in the United States of America see the office. Nobody. They all took oaths to the corporation. They did not take oaths to the United States of America. They all took oaths to the United States Corporation. That's common knowledge for some of us. That means that the American government is vacant. Just like the Moroccan governments were vacant until they're being reestablished now. But the point at hand is that don't take what I'm saying too much to the heart, because if you do, you cannot see past what I'm saying, or what's being said on the surface level. So, and this is only for a selected few, if you will. You know, not everybody is gonna quote unquote wake up to this degree, right? So, as far as Moroccans, right? There was a treaty of peace and friendship between the United States of America and the Sultan of Morocco. That's two different governments, two different parties, two different jurisdictions, two different nationalities. Coming together, said this is how we're going to treat each other. That's what a treaty is for, right? Now, who is the United States of America? Formerly, the 13 colonies, i.e. the colonists. So who are the colonists? United States of America. How do we know? Because George Washington wrote a letter to the Sultan of Morocco, said that we would like to be called the United States of America now. Who was George Washington? We all know him as the quote-unquote first president of the United States of America. Some say John Hanson. Regardless of what you want to say, both of them were from Europe. Okay? John Hanson's family was from Sweden. So regardless of what you want to call whoever is the first president of the United States of America, United States, whatever, Europeans who have been politically agreed to with the Sultan in the treaty and in that letter, have agreed that the 13 colonies, i.e. the Continental Congress, i.e. the United States of America, they can be called Americans now. Not Europeans, they're Americans. They don't put Italian American on paper, nothing like that. They're Americans now. That's their nationality. That's their jurisdiction. That's their government name. Right? So, Americans. We know America was established in 1791. So, what is ancient about America? Which is really, if you just peep the spell, you're talking to 13 colonies. Right? So, don't even say America. Like, if Just if saying 13 colonies helps you understand what I'm saying much more, just say that because that's who they are. It's no different. Same people. So the 13 colonists who now politically identify as Americans, right? Because they went through the process of having a government, putting a constitution on the record, et cetera, et cetera, following the laws of following the international law of how to start a government, right? Um, they made a treaty agreement with the Sultan of Morocco, which is a position in a Moroccan government. If you read the Rudder and Sexton, you'll see several positions in the old Moroccan government in which how they you can see how they basically established themselves. So if you read the Rudder and Sexton, you'll basically see the outlining of the old paradigm of how Moorish government was ran and established. So it wasn't just the Sultan. The Sultan was the head, yeah, but there was more seats of office. So there was a Moroccan government and an American government together. Well, not together, but they came together to establish a treaty. That's two different governments, two different jurisdictions, two different nationalities, etc. It's two different politically distinct people, Moroccans and Americans. Okay, so again, if you want to redo the spell in your head, who are the Americans, the 13 colonies? Do you want to be a part of the 13 colonies? I hope your answer is no. But again, I'll just further explain. So America, who is that? The 13 colonists. Who is the 13 colonists? The colonists. What do we need to do? Decolonize. So we don't want to be a part of that party. We can't be the ancient Americans. America was started in 1791. There was no matter what, no European book, historical book that they try to push. That's not the law. On top of the fact that you have several people, all those European books, who barely know the law, they have a little bit of truth, the history in there. But the thing is that you got to take that with a grain of salt, especially if it's not the unwavering truth. All right, uh, so we basically got to get out of the concept of American Indians, and I want to even talk about that. Make an own section for that. Why people say Indians and why they believe that Indians are more progressive than Moors, in which I can understand why they say that and see that. And I definitely am going to expound on that maybe here, even in this video, because I don't really know what's going to take me. I'm really just trying to stick to the basics, the irrefutable basics, because Moors still going to go out there and say, I'm calling myself a Moorish American because Noble Drew Ali said we're Moorish Americans. And that's going to be their unwavering principle, right? What did Noble Drew Ali say? Why are you Moorish American? Because you're descendants of Moroccans. You're Moroccan. Born in America. What is born synonymous with? Naturalized. Born is synonymous with naturalized in law. So you are Moroccans, descendant of Moroccans. You're a Moroccan who was naturalized or born in America. What is America? 13 colonies, their jurisdiction. Why would you want to be born in the 13 colonies jurisdiction? Even if you want to call them continental colonies, they were just people from different continents that came together on this landmass and formed a Congress, Continental Congress. Again, people not from this landmass. Why would you want to be a part of that? So you got 13 colonies, Continental Congress in the United States of America, all saying the same thing no matter what name you bring it to. Right? So what do? we see what the reign of the order of the day is, which is nationality. Why nationality? Because that's the most. It's a part of the most um, spiritual thing you can do right now. What is the word that you want to get familiar with? Statehood. So nationality is a part of statehood. Not the same thing. A part of it though. So I more say nationality is the order of the day. Statehood is the order of the day. Nationality is included in that, right? If you just say nationality is the order of the day, okay, what grants you nationality in law? And I posted some picture in this. In law, the state grants you nationality. The state confers you nationality. That's who validates, confirms it. That's who organizes everything for you. Right? What is the state? Not only is it state of mind because it's abstract, just as in the book Principles of Political Science, it says that state is a state of mind. Right? Um, so uh, it says state is a state of mind. So state is also a state government, an actual physical government. So if nationality is granted or conferred to you by a state, then the question is, where's your state government? This is basics of law. You can look it up on my page, just for the resources from state constitution books, international law books, international law itself. But the thing is that people don't see the spiritual concept of international law, and that's why they're not attracted to it. There's concepts out like Illuminati and United Nations. They don't want to see you out there shining. Uh, and a whole bunch of fearful excuses, basically. When again, 80 countries have been decolonized, all melanated people. What excuses? What excuses? They're not under no Rothschild. This is strictly sovereignty and independence that they're striving for. So we got to get practical. Um, we need more Capricorn friends. But um, you know, I was being funny when I said that, but really, we have to demystify everything we're doing, ground what we're spending our time on, because the spirit of decolonization is a spirit that everybody on this landmass has to deal with. This is a personal revelation for everybody. So as far as more science goes, you hear some of the Moorish American teachers, quote unquote. Peace, Mo. And again, I open the chat to all questions and answers, or excuse me, questions and comments, because that's pretty much what this video is for. We're talking about more science, history, international law, spirituality, occult, anything. Um, so really, when you hear quote unquote Moorish American, oh, that's Roddick. Hey, peace, y'all. I didn't know who I was talking to, but so when we talking about uh, Moorish, quote unquote Moorish American teachers, who basically throughout their videos constantly say we're ancient Americans, we are the Americans, we the American Republic is ours, all that type of stuff. That's the mentality we got to get out of. Because again, who are the Americans? The 13 colonies. Who are the 13 colonies? The colonies. What did the colonists do? Change their name to the United States of America. So why would we want to be Americans, i.e., the colonists? It makes no sense. If we want to decolonize, we cannot be the claiming to be the colonizers. Whether it's Moorish American, American Indian, any type of American. So this 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 age that's being ushered in, it really needs to be demystified. Only so many people. The rest, the most of the world are in fear for the most part, thinking aliens are gonna come. Um, they thinking that the government just has it all, like it's just really over with. Concentration camps, you name it. It's so many people that think the worst, in which that self determination, plus you create your own heaven in hell. So nobody can force you to basically go drink the water. So when more states are coming online saying that we walking on a golden brick road, basically, while everybody else is pretty much in fear, you see that only so many people can truthfully measure out what's going on in the energy on Earth. Uh, Now, at least in a governmental aspect, when they talk about more states, I'm not saying we the most spiritual people on Earth or anything like that, but I am saying that we're reestablishing an energy, reintroducing an energy that has not been seen, felt, understood on Earth in a long time. So it's a lot of spiritual understanding behind this. I'm trying to keep it balanced between law and spirituality a little bit, more so on spirituality because I know where people tend to lean towards and get stuck at. Um, and again, I open the chat up for all questions and comments. Um, but in every which way, whether you want to talk about spirits, whether you want anything you talk about is in direct relationship to more statehood. Period. What governments run everything, even what people fearing. So how is more statehood, i.e., government, not in direct relation to what exactly people fear? It's in direct correlation. What people have to do is uh, face cognitive dissonance, for one, because it's given. For two, follow the simple instructions. The reason why we haven't been following the simple instructions is because there's been a wool over our quote unquote eye. We'll read the word state and didn't understand it at all. Read it millions of times. Look at the same picture all day. Looked at the answer right there. Seen God in his face, if you want to say. And didn't even know. Just sat there. Like, so we have to, um, for one, face ourselves. And I'm not going to make this much longer. But you have to face your misinformation, right? Um, and I'm talking more so directly to the quote unquote Moorish Americans. Because again, I'm going to keep on talking about the basics. Again, two different governments, two different jurisdictions. If you cannot get past that, anything else that what you're saying is invalid. It is 0% valid. Am I Moroccans are not Americans. Americans are not Moroccans. Now, let's further understand this. How people say, well, Moor means dark skin. So that just means it could be American, it could be a Moroccan, it could be a French person, it could be a German. Okay. So let's look at the holistic concept of this answer. Not be partial about it. Let's look at the holistic concept. Moor, meaning dark skin, right? Okay. Moor means a lot of things, right? Okay. Moor means dark skin. Does that what it means in a political sense? In a political sense, what does Moor mean? Moor is synonymous with Moroccan, not Frenchman, not Germany, right? Not Scandinavia, not Congo. Moor is synonymous with Moroccan in a political sense. Modern international law, supreme law, treaties, right? Moroccan, Moor is Moroccan. So, in a political sense, that's what that means. Now, historically, Moor meaning dark skin. Why was this the case at the time, or even now? But why was this predominantly? Why are more stuck on this? How international law or government was ran at one point in ancient times was not the same as it was today. Statehood has not always been a thing. Statehood is a thing because the Moorish government, the Islamic people, pressed the Christians so hard that the Christians had to come together, figure out how to come together. In our falling of greed, in their uprising by uniting, we have to basically relearn how to unite in a proper sense, according to modern international law, which is treaties, based off of what the European nations had to come across and do, because we were falling victim to our own ego, etc., etc. Hence, the Moroccan Empire split up today. So there was a lot of things that how government shouldn't have always been government. How it was ran back then, it was a lot more harsh. Um, I'll say that the term Moor, okay, um, meaning dark skin, right? Again, today it can't just mean dark skin, because a person in France, that's a Frenchman, a part of a French government. So that's what he's politically seen as, not Moor. That's synonymous with Moroccan, because there's a whole government for Moroccans, i.e. Moor. So he can't claim Moor just because I'm quote unquote dark skinned. No, that's an old time understanding. That's not today. You're only as old as your ability to process new information. So it's a lot of Moors stuck in the past. They don't see how modern government is ran, in which that's why they're not being seen as government officials like they wish to be. So again, you only as old as your ability to process new information. So this old time paradigm stuff gotta go. Moor meaning dark skin. So therefore I'm a Moor, and that's how I prove I'm a Moor, and in their system and all this type of stuff. No, that's not how you prove it. Islam, brother. So that's an old time paradigm, right? There's instructions as far as how to proclaim nationality in the treaties. We need to follow that strict sense, those instructions. Okay. So this is all indications the disposition of your consciousness, because there is nothing higher than international law. International law is the Tippereth point in the Kabbalah. It's the thing that brings everything together. It's the energy, the sphere, the mindset, if you want to call it goddess, the whatever goddess you choose to. This is the energy. How they say Jesus is here to what Jesus take the wheel, or some even say the queen in heaven. How some people in the Bible say the queen in heaven, God had a wife and all that. This is that energy. There is no other question about it. International law is the highest system of law. The physical mimics the spiritual. So if international law is the highest system of law, what are we talking about here? We're talking about the highest system of law in the spiritual form that's being introduced mentally, mechanically, physically to us. Treaty, supreme law of the land. Okay, we're talking about the top of the top being accessible. Not only in the physical, but in every which way, energetically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, all this. So it's basically time to understand that Moorish statehood, there is nothing higher than this. What you want to talk about? Keep going. What you want to talk about? The quantum computers underground? Okay, Moorish state's gonna have control of that. Whatever Moorish state in that tier, okay, set up some state laws. Let's get to work. Just how their government did it, right? We couldn't get it back because government, right? Okay, we gonna get it back because government, right? Okay, so there is not a single thought that's gonna get past this. Not a single thought. Nope. Can't go. Not a single thought. Nope. Can't go. Can't go. There is nothing higher than international law. Period. Type any spiritual topic. Don't care what you're talking about. Yep. It's answered already. Yep. So all this stuff is bottlenecked. All these distractions, all these other identities, all this other misinformation. We got to get out of that. So I'm gonna spend a couple more minutes on this, but I'm gonna conclude about 5 more minutes. But I'm gonna conclude by saying that all of what I said in this video, and I might make another one later, to be honest. But all of what I said in this video is just basic, simple facts, pretty much. As y'all see, for those who came on my for those who've been following me for some years now, I deleted probably about 60 plus videos, 60 to 80 videos, something like that, on spirituality. Simply because me personally, I'm tired of it not being grounded. I got this style. I got to put this colloidal silver on my eye. I'm tired of it not being grounded. I'm tired of the misinformation. We, the ancient Americans, would you just call yourself the ancient colonizer? You saying that? All this stuff, it gotta go. It gotta go. Like the big joker, like everything must go. But so I'm gonna just reiterate a few more points, just a few points again. Either you're Moroccan or you're American. Noble Drali said you're Moroccan, born in America, i.e., you're Moroccan, naturalized in America. Why? Because born is synonymous with naturalized. Born is synonymous with naturalized. You were naturalized in America. This is not America, this is Morocco, right? It's the Moroccan Empire, not the American Empire. Not the Moorish American Empire. It's the Moroccan Empire. You should be born in Morocco if this is the Moroccan Empire. If you're a Moor. Noble Drali called you Moroccan, right? Which means this is Morocco. To be born in America that only exists on paper. Again, born synonymous with naturalized. I'm gonna keep reiterating these basic points. You are naturalized in America, the colonist jurisdiction. This is not America, it's Morocco. This is not Moorish America. This is not ancient America. This is not Amexem. That's a privatized name. That's not in treaties. Stick to the strict sense of treaties. What did the treaty say? Morocco. That's what this is. No other word. All these other words, no. So, as I conclude, keep reiterating just how, as y'all probably familiar with Brother Panic, how he said, might have to tell yourself, I am God, I am God, I am God. I am not American, I am not American, I am not American. America's 13 colonies, America's 13 colonies, America's 13 colonies. Same thing. The more you do that, the more you keep believing that, the more you're not going to understand how you're not that. You're not going to see the next thing attached to that, which is the next thing attached to that, in the world around that understanding, because you're in it still. Once you pull out, you're going to be like, wow, my first move is going to be like an atom and put their ass out the water. Excuse me for my language. Yes. But you thinking you're American, calling yourself a Moroccan, is the problem. That's the spell. They got you to think that you're them. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. They got you thinking you're them. Their problems became your problems. Now your spirit messed up. It's all out of whack. When you say I am, we know the power behind that. I am an American. All right. You want the energy and the mindset and the ghosts and the goddesses and the demons and what they come with that? Because that's about the biggest hijack on the planet. So, talking about demon time. All right, so I'm out of here. Peace.